Tonix recently presented a scientific poster at the American Society of Clinical Psychopharmacology annual meeting, which detailed the positive results of a phase 3 study using TNX 102SL in fibromyalgia. And so with me is the CEO, Seth Lederman, to talk more about this, what it means. So welcome back, Seth.
Thank you for having me back on.
Yeah. So let's start with just give me an overall of this clinical study that you did for the fibromyalgia treatment. Bring us up to date on that.
Well, it's a big win for fibromyalgia patients. We think that this clearly shows that our model of improving sleep quality can lead to an improvement in across the board in fibromyalgia. The primary endpoint of the study was pain, because fibromyalgia is considered a pain disorder. And in this study, it was a 14-week study, and people got either our drug, TNX 102SL, or placebo. And after 14 weeks, the treated people did better on pain than the placebo group. And that was statistically significant by the pre-specified primary analysis. So it was a positive phase 3 study. And since you need 2 phase 3 studies for FDA approval, we think we're halfway home.
Okay. How big of a problem is fibromyalgia in the U.S., globally?
Fibromyalgia affects about 10 million American adults. About half of them are diagnosed, and about 90% of the diagnosed people are treated. But still, there's a long way to go to get the other half of fibromyalgia patients into treatment, because there are some good treatments already available, and we think that ours will also be a very important addition to the treatment options.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you've done 1/3 phase trial, and that was positive. So you do another one. How long do you think it might be before this gets FDA approval?
In the United States, you need 2 phase 3 studies for approval. So we've finished 1 phase 3 study. The second one, we're already enrolling. We expect to have interim analysis next quarter. So in Q3, which is just in a couple of weeks, Q3 starts. And then we've guided that we'll have top line on that study in the first quarter of 2022, so the first quarter of next year. Mm-hmm. So if that study's positive, we expect to be able to file the new drug application in 2022, and we expect to have FDA approval in 2023. Now, of course, that depends on the next study confirming the results of the study we just completed, but we're optimistic about that because the current phase 3 study is pretty much identical to the one we just completed that was successful. Now, the one difference is it's a larger study, but we made it larger to increase the chances that it would be successful.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe the treatment? Is it a pill? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, thank you. It's a tablet that goes under the tongue, and it's taken every night at bedtime. So every night just before bedtime, the person takes the tablet, puts it under the tongue. Under the tongue, it rapidly disintegrates and then is absorbed into the bloodstream by the mucous membrane under the tongue. And what it does is it improves sleep quality. And we think that sleep quality is very different from quantity. So quality means how useful the sleep is from a health point of view. And quantity is just someone being knocked out, but not necessarily getting good sleep. So the sleep drugs that are approved in the United States today are focused on quantity, and they're called sedatives or hypnotics, whereas ours does not knock you out. Ours is designed to improve the quality. So while someone is sleeping, while someone with fibromyalgia is sleeping, processes in the brain can occur that lead to an overall improvement in their health.
Okay, interesting. So since this deals with sleep, will there be other indications for this treatment?
Excellent question. Yes, we think that poor sleep quality leads to problems in many different conditions. Now, each one of these different conditions has their own particular type of sleep problem. So we're going to have to test it in each one of these conditions before we know. But we do have active INDs, that means an investigational new drug application, in 3 other conditions already. And those are post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, agitation in Alzheimer's disease, which is a common but difficult problem, and alcoholism. The new name for alcoholism is called alcohol use disorder. So those are 3 conditions where scientists believe that poor sleep exacerbates, prolongs, or generally worsens these conditions. So we intend to try it in these 3 and also other diseases, because as you said, sleep is a component of many different conditions.
Sure is. So what are the key takeaways then of this program?
Well, the key takeaways are that there hasn't been a new fibromyalgia drug in over 10 years, and a lot has been learned about fibromyalgia in those 10 years. I think the big differentiator of our product, if approved, is that it targets sleep quality. And one of the things that's very unique about that is we can target sleep quality in fibromyalgia, improve the pain, and yet we are using a medicine that is recognized not to have addictive or dependency issues. So I think it's a different mechanism, completely different mechanism than the approved drugs and in fibromyalgia. And we think it's going to be a very important option for fibromyalgia patients.
Okay, very interesting. We'll come back when you start to get that second phase 3 trial going. And we'll see. We'll get an update.
Great. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Seth Lederman of Tonix Pharmaceuticals.